What's up everybody, Tony here with HighTechCheck, and today we're going to be taking a look at XFANIC's 13-in-1 hub. Now I will be putting a link in the description in case you guys want to pick this up yourself, and if you guys like me and you want to support my channel, please use those links because it helps me keep purchasing products to do reviews for you guys. Now this little hub is quite amazing. Like I said before, it has 13 ports in one. Now this little hub is quite amazing and it can do a lot for its small size. This is pretty much what you're going to get inside the box. You're going to get your hub here, you're going to get this nice thick USB-C to USB-C type cable, and you're also going to get the power adapter. Now as far as the build quality goes, it is made of pretty much all aluminum. It's really nice, got a good weight to it, doesn't feel cheap at all. This is also compatible with M1 Macs as well as Windows, and you can use it on USB-C and Thunderbolt ports. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the ports you get on this little hub. Okay, so here are the ports on one side. Here we have a USB Type-C power delivery port. This port is capable of doing 100 watts. Here we have the computer connection port, which connects right up to your computer. We have our display port. We have an HDMI 2.1 port. We have a regular 2.0 HDMI port. We have our 12 volt 3 amp power port. And we also have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port, which is really nice. Now as far as display options goes, you can use the HDMI 2.1 port for up to 8K at 60 Hertz. And you can also use 4K at 120 Hertz, which is great, especially if you're using this for gaming or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other side here. So here we have our power button. We have a little LED. We have our SD card and TF card readers, which do use the SD 4.0 protocol that have a transmission rate up to 300 megabytes a second. We're going to go ahead and test that out. We also have two regular USB-A's that are 3.2. that can do up to 10 gigabits, and we also have a USB Type-C here that does the 10 gigabits per second as well. And then we have our stereo input jack here. Now this also does have a secret slot that houses an NVMe SSD drive, which is really cool. You just have to pull off this piece here. It is held down by magnets. You just kind of pull it off and it exposes the little NVMe slot. Now as you can see, it's got a little rubber stop here. You don't need any tools. You just use the little stopper here, and as you can see, it can accommodate variable sizes, which is really nice. And we're also going to test out the speeds on that. Okay, so here I just want to show you what NVMe drive I'm using for testing and how to install it. So here I have the Western Digital Black SN750 NVMe. It is a 1 terabyte, and I do have a piece of thermal pad on here just to kind of help with the heat dissipation. So really all you need to do is take out that little rubber stopper. We're going to go ahead and put in our NVMe drive. You just kind of press it in, and then we're going to push it down, and then all you need to do is press the little rubber stopper down into the hole. Okay, so here as you can see, I've pressed in the little rubber stopper and the NVMe is now held in place. So then all you need to do is take the cover, which has some metal plates, and just put it back down in place. So now the very first thing you want to do before you install or connect up the hub to your computer, you're going to want to download the drivers. Now I'm using a Mac, but there are also drivers here for Android, Ubuntu, Windows. You just need to find the proper drivers for the computer you're using and then install them for the hub to work properly. So here I am on the Display Links website, and they have all the drivers you need as well as the information to install those particular drivers that you need. Once you have the drivers installed, then you can go ahead and hook up the hub to your computer. It's also very important to pick out the correct version for the computer you're using as well. Like I said before, I'm using a Mac. This particular package supports Monterey 12 and Big Sur 11, but if you have older operating systems, you're going to want to go ahead and use the legacy releases and pick out the one that's right for your computer. Okay, so just for ease of use and testing, I went ahead and connected the hub up on my desk directly into my MacBook Pro M1 Max. We're going to go ahead and test out the speeds of the SD card reader. Here I have an SD card that can do up to 170 megabytes a second. And I also have a micro SD card here that's capable of doing 160 megabytes a second for read, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in to our hub here. We should see it show up as untitled. There it is. It just has some videos that I've taken on my Sony a6400 on here. So we'll go ahead and select this as a target drive. There it is. And we'll go ahead and start the speed test. So there we're getting about 94 megabytes for the write. And really close to 160 for the read. And that's almost the max that the card can do. I doubt it's the reader causing the issue. It's probably the card itself, but that's definitely close to what the specifications are. So now I'm going to go ahead and take out the SD card and I'm going to put it directly into my MacBook, and we'll see what kind of speed difference there is, if any, with that. So I'm going to put it directly into my MacBook now. Okay, there it is again. Go ahead and do our speed tests. And it is selected. So there is a noticeable speed difference in the write. It's only 76. And for the read, we're looking at about 90. Yeah, so you definitely do get a better reader with this hub versus the MacBook Pro. Alright, so here I have my SanDisk Extreme 400 gigabyte micro SD card. Again, this is capable of doing 160 megabytes a second, so we'll just go ahead and put that in there. And we'll take a look at this. There it is, untitled. And this has some stuff from my old Android device on it. Go ahead and select it in here. Okay. And we'll start the speed test. So we're getting 91.3 for the write, which is great. And then for the read, it looks like 140, so just a little under what it states it can do for its specifications. But I can guarantee if I were to put this into the MacBook Pro, it would definitely be lower than that. So for some reason, the hub is not working with the NVMe. It's not recognizing it on my MacBook Pro M1 Max. So now I've had to do just the NVMe test on my older iMac here. So as you can see, the NVMe does not have anything on it. We're going to go ahead and do a speed test. We'll see what kind of speeds we can get out of this drive here. Go ahead and select that, and then we'll start our speed test. So this NVMe is definitely capable of doing speeds in excess of 3,000 megabytes. So right now we're only getting about 903 for the write and about the same for the read. So this drive port is telling me that it's about a 10 gigabit port, and you're not going to get any faster than that with any of the other NVMEs that you want to put in here. Okay, so now we're going to test out the Ethernet port on the hub. As you can see, I do have my Wi-Fi turned off, so that's not a factor. And as you can see here, this is the hub's Ethernet port. It is showing that it is a 2.5 gigabit LAN connection. So I just wanted to show you that we are just connected to that. I did just do a speed test, and as you can see, those speeds are pretty high. I do have a gigabit connection up and down, and I'm getting about that, but I'm going to do the test again just so you can see it. So there, as you can see, it's pretty close to the first test that I just did, and that's very acceptable because there's always going to be some discrepancy. Maybe somebody's streaming in my house or something like that to change the download. But for the most part, you're getting some really good speeds out of the hub's Ethernet port. Okay, so I just wanted to show everybody what kind of setup I have running with this hub. Here I have my 27-inch, it's only a 1080p screen. In the middle here, I have my LG 4K 32-inch monitor that it is running 4K. I also have my 55-inch Samsung 4K TV that's connected in the back, and then I also have my iMac that is running 5K. So all three of these monitors are running off of that one hub that is connected directly to my iMac. And as you can see, it is mirroring the screen of the iMac on all three displays. So you can also extend these three screens from the iMac as well. I just simply chose to mirror the screens for ease of use and to show you that it is working, and also that it is running mirroring the screen from my iMac on all three screens from the hub. Okay, so I just want to show you up close what I am running here. Here I do have my Mac that is running at 5K. Again, I have my 55-inch that's running 4K in the background, and I'll show you that. As you can see, it's 3840 by 2160 at 30 frames per second. Then here I have my 4K monitor. I'll show you that's running in 4K. As you can see here, 3840 by 2160 at 60 Hertz. And then here I have my 1080p screen that's running at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So this is pretty capable of running quite a few high definition screens. You do have to keep in mind that you will have to have cables that can support the 4K and the 60 Hertz. Because if you don't, then it's not going to be able to display that. Another thing is this hub is also capable of doing 8K at 60 Hertz and 4K at 120 Hertz. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a 120 Hertz screen or an 8K screen to show you, but that's what it says in the specifications. And again, as you can see here, all screens are different. So I have extended them from the iMac. As you can see the little cursor moving around here, and then if I move it off to the left, it's on that screen, and then I can put it on the 4K screen in the background. As you can see on the dog's mouth, make it a little bigger there by shaking it. There it is. Yeah, but anyway, it is being extended to all four screens now, which is pretty nice, especially if you have a lot of workflow. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention about this hub is the fact that it will not power your device unless you have an adapter plugged into the power delivery port on the hub. As you can see on the back here, I do have the power plug plugged into the hub in my surge protector over here, but I also have a USB Type-C plugged into the power delivery port using my MacBook's wall adapter. So as you can see, I do not have the hub's port plugged into my MacBook, but if I go ahead and plug that in, you then heard that the battery is now charging. But if I unplug the power adapter from the hub that's connected to my MacBook adapter, you'll see that the battery has now stopped charging. So if you want to charge your device while you're using the hub, you need to make sure that you have an extra adapter plugged into the power delivery port. Okay, so now we're going to do a speed test using the USB-C port on the front of the hub. It is capable of doing 10 gigabits per second, which should give us about 1,000 megabytes a second when we test out our external NVMe drive. This drive is capable of doing 40 gigabits per second, and we're using the Western Digital SN750 1 terabyte drive. So as you can see, we have the drive selected here. There's nothing on it. We'll go ahead and select that as our target drive. There you go, and we'll go ahead and start the speed test. So as you can see right away, we're getting about 915 write and about 760 for the read. Now, the write is pretty much on par for what that port can do, but for some reason our reads are slower than they should be. They should be in about the 9s because this port can do about 1,000 megabytes a second. So I'm not sure why the reads are as slow as they are, but these are the results that we're getting with the MacBook Pro 2021 M1 Max. Okay, so now I've connected that same NVMe up to the USB 3.2 ports, and we'll see what kind of speeds we get from there. As you can see, the drive is right here with nothing on it, and we'll select it as our target drive and start our test. So as you can see, we are getting about the same speeds as we got from the USB-C port. That was the 10 gigabits per second. Now the hub does also have a built-in fan. It's not super loud, but it is audible if you are standing around the hub. So right now it's off. It only turns the fan on when it is connected to a computer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and let you hear what it sounds like. So they do have this up on Kickstarter right now, and they've absolutely obliterated their goal. And if you guys want this, I suggest you purchase it now while it's at a discount before it comes out to retail. So again, I will be putting a link in the description for that. Now this little hub is absolutely awesome to have, especially if you have a device that doesn't have a lot of ports. This is definitely going to take care of all of your needs, especially if you have like a MacBook Pro, an iMac, an iPad, things like that, or just like a laptop, because a lot of the devices now only come with a few ports. So this is going to definitely take care of all your port needs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell to let you guys know when I put out new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.